Ukulele Tales, the ukulele podcast with John Atkins.
Welcome, fellow tailgaters, to another episode of Ukulele Tales. Just to let you know, we now have a sponsor, Carla Brand Music. I've been working with or alongside Carla for quite a few years now, and they have always provided me with some tremendous ukuleles. So I see it as a really great endorsement that they've very kindly agreed to sponsor this show. Thank you very much indeed to Carla for jumping on board and agreeing to be a part of the project. And don't worry, listeners, this won't change anything about the show itself. In fact, if anything, it'll hopefully make it easier for me to get in contact with certain potential guests. All it does mean for you guys is that I have an affiliate link with them. So if you are in the market for a new ukulele, go to www.carlabrand.com/uketeacher or click directly on the special link in the show notes, and you will get 10% off anything on their website just because you listen to the Ukulele Tales podcast. Talking of guests, I am working on a really big name at the moment. I can't say anything just yet as I don't want to jinx myself, but if I manage to pull this one off, I will be over the moon. Any guesses? No, you'll never get this one, I don't think. Don't even try. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a good week. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Lots of nice feedback from Abby Lyons' episode last week. And I don't know if you picked up on it, but the thing that really stuck out for me is that when she was commissioned to record that song for The Wheel of Time, the Amazon Prime show, which I confess, by the way, I still haven't watched yet. Sorry about that, Abby. She ended up recording it in her closet. Now, of course, this was during COVID and things weren't exactly normal. And I know she has recorded some more stuff for the show since then in more professional surroundings. But I found it really inspiring to know that if you have the talent, you don't need to sort of spend tens of thousands of dollars on gear and getting the most expensive things that there are out there. Just make the most of what you do have, and I'm sure you'll get something good out of it with enough practice and hard work. And that's why I love to do my little ukulele and iPhone videos on YouTube. It's not just a novelty or a fun challenge, but I find it genuinely exciting to see what music can be created with just a phone and a uke. It's kind of unbelievable when you stop and think about it. And it's inspiring to know that even on professionally produced TV shows being watched by millions of people, there's still, sometimes at least, people sat somewhere in just a little cupboard making the music for those shows. So well done again, Abby, and thank you again for the great interview. I really enjoyed it. This week's guest is a whole different kettle of fish altogether. Boris Mogilevsky, aka Boris Ukulele. Boris is a musician, a composer, a performer, and an online educator based in the Netherlands. And he recently reached the not insignificant milestone of 100,000 followers and counting on his Instagram. He also has a master's degree in jazz guitar and music education, and is probably the coolest lecturer you're likely to come across, as he actually started running his own ukulele course at the university where he works, which has since attracted hundreds of students from all across the globe. Boris is a great guy, and as well as posting cool, funny, and incredibly skillful uke videos on his Instagram, he's really keen to give back, and he uses the platform that he has to raise funds for a charity, namely the Ukulele Safari, the first of which took place last November, raising money for musical instruments for children in Kenya. Now, this interview actually took place at NAMM last year, before Boris had gone on the safari to Africa, so it would be great to get him back on the show again in the future to discuss it in more depth and hear all about his travels to Africa. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much up front, so let's jump straight into this, my chat with Boris Mogilevsky, aka Boris Ukulele. Yeah, and you know what? I'm pretty sure it'll run out of batteries in like 2 seconds now.
No
I've got plenty of spare, but I've just spent so long messing around with it and everything. But, so firstly, can you just say your full name, just so I've got it for the record?
Yeah, so my name is Boris Mogilevsky. It's a hard one to pronounce, but Boris Ukulele, Boris Mogilevsky, people know me by those two.
Yeah. Where have you come from, Boris?
So I'm originally from Israel, and the story goes this way. So I was born in Russia, then my parents moved to Israel when I was 5 years old, And when I was 19, I moved to the Netherlands to, pursue my dream of becoming a musician. So
And how's that working out for you?
it's working out great.
Yeah.
Actually getting better each
Yeah.
day.
I mean, what's the deal? Because like I know you only from Instagram, I guess.
Right.
But what do you do? Are you like a professional teacher or player?
Well, I've been teaching offline for a long time. Like I guess since I was like 17 or 18. I was a guitar player like initially, so that's where everything started. With also I came to the Netherlands as a guitar player, like and playing with people, teaching, and all that.
Yeah.
And later on, I realized that I want to travel. I don't want to be, living in one place. I want to meet people. I want to see the world. And I gave it a chance. I started teaching online. I established a little community, guitar students community, which later on also became a ukulele community. And so I started teaching, online. And during COVID, people started believing that the online thing, actually having online classes, is actually a real thing. You can really learn from this. Because before that, people were a little bit more hesitant. So there were tutorials, of course, YouTube, and it worked out fine. But when COVID hit, it was like everyone rushed to the internet, Zoom classes, this and that. So it worked out great. People were so hungry to learn music.
Yeah.
So that's where I became fully like an online teacher. Yeah.
So you said you started off with the guitar, right?
I started with a guitar player.
Yeah, same here. I'm
Really?
I got a guitar for my 10th birthday. I've been playing it.
Right.
Like I always think of the guitar as my main instrument, to be honest with you.
Me too.
But,
me too. I think without a guitar, I wouldn't get around and find my way around the neck. As simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. And you said you wanted to travel. So is that why you switched to a ukulele? It's easier to get in the suitcase.
There were a couple of reasons. One was an injury that I got kind of overexcited at the party, and I played cajon without having any proper technique. I just was banging on this thing for 4 hours, jam sessions, and they were all great vibes, and I messed up my tendon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was guitar, it's quite a big instrument, and steel strings, and it's cuts through your finger. So I couldn't do any bending anymore because the string is quite rough.
Yeah.
So then I gave it a chance. I played some uke and felt a lot better. It's hey, I can do quite a lot of the things that I'm doing on the guitar, but I can kind of convert it into the uke.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the reasons. The other reason was that I'm still teaching at the University in Delft. It's a city in the Netherlands. It's a very big student city. So I'm giving evening courses, right, for students. So many students were struggling with guitar. It takes time. They don't have the time to really sit and practice, and just getting a simple chord on the guitar takes a couple of weeks until you actually even manage getting any sound out of your instrument. So I was like, hey guys, why don't we try ukulele? Maybe that will work for you. So people started, getting a bit more familiar with that instrument, and people started loving it, and there was a community growing up in the town. And then, that was another reason. I was like, okay, well, there are more and more students being interested in the uke. So the final reason, and that's completely pushed me off guitar and brought me into playing only the ukulele, so to say, it was COVID, actually. Yeah, so I wasn't that active online. And YouTube didn't really work out for me. I gave it a try, but releasing my guitar stuff and worked hard on it, but actually didn't go anywhere. So I was like, okay, social media is not really my thing. But then COVID started. I was quite depressed. I realized I cannot travel, visit my parents. So it's not only about vacations, but my parents live in Israel. I live in the Netherlands. I cannot travel anymore. So I was quite depressed. I went to my balcony, I grabbed my uke. I don't even know what the brand was. It's a uke that I bought on the market for $20 or something. And I just strummed a couple of chords, and then I was like, why don't I just release it on Instagram, And then I got lots of comments, and people really liked what I do, and it gave me so much support and belief, and
it's
so that's...
Yeah, social media is a funny one, isn't it? And I think it's luck as much as anything,
It's been a jungle since then. I don't even know how to think about it. It's amazing. It's especially, here's the thing, the ukulele community, because as I said, I was a guitar player before. I didn't feel this kind of a warm feeling from the guitar community. There's always who is playing faster, who is playing better, who is, big competition, not so much support. And suddenly,
Yeah, I've seen some of that. I saw a guitar video the other day, and it was something about real guitar players laugh at the guitar community, and it's sort of all weird, hyper-competitive stuff. And I think you're right with the ukulele. It's a little bit more friendly and welcoming and stuff like that, Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I was looking for, to be honest with you, because I studied jazz. I went to a conservatory. I spent many years like diving into the notes and whatever, all this stuff, which is great. I'm happy I did it. But, when studying professionally, you sometimes forget that you're playing for people. You're not playing for yourself.
Yeah.
So I grew up with an idea, everyone should listen to me, right? Like, kind of this approach, like, hey, but I was playing and, people were like, I wasn't really engaging. I was like, okay, let me play those sophisticated chords or whatever that is. But it's not really what music is all about,
Yeah.
You need to include people in what you're doing. You need to communicate. Teaching is one important thing about it. You just let people in,
Yeah.
And
that's great, because I saw you playing outside just a second ago, and it was fun. You guys were having fun, right?
yeah,
And I think people do have a tendency to just get lost in like the technique of it, don't they? And
exactly.
just sort of, like you said, how fast can I play, or
Yeah.
how many notes, or what modes do I know, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the important thing is, like, take me as an example. No one would accuse me of being like a great ukulele player, but I'm having fun when I'm playing, and I'm dragging people in, and I'm getting people involved with it. I think that's kind of, part of the important thing. And my message is like getting people to play.
Exactly.
You don't have to be a world beater or an expert at it. Just have some fun with it.
Exactly.
And share music.
Exactly. And maybe that's one thing that I was really missing, a feeling of a community. So as I said, I spent many years studying, worked my ass off, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel a community feeling. And again, yeah, I worked on my technique, whatever, but it doesn't really matter. There is space for everyone. So I love teaching complete beginners. I give them 2 notes. I give them a very easy rhythm, and we play together. It doesn't matter. I play 4 notes, they play 2 notes. He or she plays 5 notes, and together it becomes a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So there's always space, and it's a very inclusive, I think, instrument. And
Yeah. Going back to Instagram, because that's where you're sort of doing pretty well at the moment, right?
yeah, somehow
Yeah.
Instagram ended up being kind of the main platform for me.
Yeah, I think that's how I first heard of you.
Yeah.
Do you find like a pressure to just constantly put out new content sort of every day and have new ideas and new sort of things to do?
I'm trying, I'm not that good with organization, it's been always, as a musician, my schedule is all over the place, playing here, playing there, breakfast at this hour, lunch at, nothing was arranged. So I realized that if I really want to do it seriously and I want to stick to this thing, I need some kind of a discipline. So I told myself, well, try to release content every day. I'm not forced to do that.
Yeah.
But engaging with my community, of course, trying to do my best there. Sometimes I skip a couple of days, but it's also it's a nice challenge to create things every day, ideas. It can be just a couple of chords or playing a song or whatever that is.
But I feel it's more than that with you. Like I saw the one the other day, you had like a pocket fan playing the ukulele.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you come up with that every day? Something like that every day?
That one was, I think it wasn't originally my idea. I just saw somebody doing it on a different instrument. What was that? Well, I think it was played on a guitar or so. I forgot the name of the guy, but I was like, wow, that's cool. Ukulele is a string instrument as well. So why don't I give it a shot, So I ordered this little fan, and I was like, yeah, it works,
Oh, nice. That's a cool idea. Are you going to try that in concert one day, you think?
Actually, yeah, I brought it with me. Not today, because it's in my suitcase.
Yeah.
But I think I'll bring it tomorrow. Yeah.
Man, I was only kidding, but
Yeah, why
bring it
not?
to a wider audience. People should see that.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
There's so many ways of playing this instrument. I find it in a way I don't know if I should say it, but it has only 4 strings. The guitar has 6, right? So you would imagine the guitar has way more possibilities, but it's not quite the case,
You don't think so? How come?
I don't know, let's say even using this fan, right? And you want to play a simple melody with that. On a guitar, you need to damp, you need to kind of close 6 strings in order to let one string be heard.
Yeah.
Right? On the ukulele, there's less strings to mute. So let's say this is one example. And, well, I don't know, it's easier to press. As I said, I had an injury. So I can do more on the ukulele. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Than on the guitar. Like bar chords, students tend
sorry.
to. Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
So bar chords was always a struggle for a lot of students,
Yeah.
guitar students.
Yeah, right, of course.
And
yeah.
I mean, I can say honestly, it's my struggle as well. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like bar chords. I never liked them on a guitar. Every opportunity I had, I was trying to find my way not playing bar chords.
To avoid them, right.
To avoid them, because it just didn't feel good. On the ukulele, suddenly goes smooth. It's like butter,
Yeah.
So it's easy. So that's why it allows me to, in a way, in my case, right, to do more on the uke, But even holding the instrument, it doesn't change your entire posture. Like on the guitar, sometimes, depending on the instrument, depending on the body, like after playing for 2 hours, I feel like suddenly I have some back pain.
Yeah.
I had that, yeah. It's depending on the chair you're sitting on, there's like a whole kind of list of things that can, and
It's true.
bring some pain and
Yeah. So now, I mean, I don't know if it's okay even to say COVID is sort of over, but we're like trying to come out the other side or trying to adapt to the new normal or whatever. But what's going on for you? Like, how do you feel? Are you going to try and get back into performing and teaching in person again? Or?
I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I'm building my community online, and I love it. I really love it. It blows my mind, like seriously. And let's say the workshop that I'll be giving here in Fallbrook and San Rafael, some of my followers, they're coming here to actually see me live, right?
In person,
so, yeah. In person, yeah. So this is how I would like to do it. So like regular classes, like live classes in real life. So I'm not really focused on that. But like I'll be giving workshops, of course. I love doing that for a group of people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's really cool to hear because I don't like doing stuff in real life.
Yeah.
I started online, I started doing YouTube and stuff. So that's my kind of thing. So when I've done in-person stuff, I kind of get nervous, like it's not really, I'm doing it and I'm trying to do more this year especially, but it's not exactly my forte maybe.
Right.
So it's cool that you're embracing the online side of things.
I'll tell you a little secret. Like I'm the opposite of you. So actually, before going online and teaching online, I was doing like live classes, and I'm very confident. I'm quite confident doing that. Like I don't get nervous or anything. When I started doing it online, recording myself, I was so nervous. Like putting the camera.
Yeah.
I was so I felt a bit insecure, especially the speaking part. Maybe because I'm not a native English speaker, and everyone. English is the language that everyone is communicating with. So I was always re-recording, trying again and getting nervous, sweaty, that was crazy because especially the recording process, one thing is I'm live on camera when I teach my ukulele community, that goes fine. But people don't know the actually, I'm fine with telling everyone the story, but actually when I have to record myself, I put my phone on selfie mode, whatever, recording myself. I'm getting nervous. Up until nowadays, I'm like, what's happening here,
See, like I say, I'm the opposite. I love recording because if I make a mistake, which I frequently do, I can just cut it out and no one ever has to know,
I do the same. I'm doing many takes. Of course, people are not aware of it because they see the kind of the nice takes,
Yeah, the finished
product. The finished product. But they don't know that, I made plenty of mistakes. I didn't prepare my speech, I don't know. Yeah, it gets messy, definitely.
Cool. And I think you were telling me before we started recording, but how long are you in the States for now?
I'm here for in total 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think there's 2.5 weeks left until the 22nd of June.
So you've got NAMM this weekend, and then
you're
doing
then
workshops
I'm
and
heading
things?
back to Fallbrook. That's when I'm staying. That's where my workshop is going to be. So that's on the 12th of June, and on the 16th I'm going to San Rafael. So I'll be staying there until I leave, and there I have another workshop.
Awesome.
That's
and then back to the Netherlands?
The Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And from there, what are you up to when you get back? Just
when I'm back, I have to catch up with because now, of course, everything is focused on my workshops and the NAMM show, and so I'll have to do a lot of catching up with with my teaching, on Patreon and
Yeah.
keep on releasing.
You're on Patreon. I just read that last night that you're on Patreon. How long have you been on there for? How's it going for you?
I guess about a year or so, maybe a little bit over a year. It's going great. It's going great. So this is my part of my community.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I have no words to describe like the process that that there are people that actually love what I do, that are ready to kind of be part of this community, to even pay money for it. Like, I don't know, for some reasons, it really blows my mind that I'm reaching this point. Like, it's a dream of mine to be able to do things online, to travel, to teach people, like, there's another big thing coming up in Africa, so there's going to be a massive thing. I'm super looking forward to.
You're going to be a part of that?
Sorry?
You're going to be a part of that in
Africa?
Yeah,
so there's a ukulele safari in Kenya.
Wow.
It's like the first ukulele safari ever, I guess.
So what, you're going around shooting ukuleles? Or,
Not really. So it's I guess in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah.
I'm going to be teaching ukulele there for a small group of people.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in November. It's also like a big thing that I'm working on together with Michaela. She's also one of my followers. She's a big ukulele enthusiast, so she plays a lot. Anyway, she's a very fun woman, and she lives there. She's originally from Italy. She lives there. She runs the tours in the safari. So she had this brilliant idea of bringing ukulele teachers to Kenya to teach. To give this workshop, 10 days workshop. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Kenya.
So it's the first attempt, so to say, and if it goes well, this is
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah,
That is so exciting, man, and that's so cool to hear. Patreon changed my life as well. I mean, I've talked about it before, but it's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Because people have made it possible.
Exactly.
So,
That's so inspiring. I mean, honestly, when I just started, I came across your channel and I was like, how is it possible that you can reach such a, like it's your dream. Like it's a dream of many musicians, just to build your community, people who love what you're doing, they believe in you, they support. I mean, I don't know. It's funny for the process. Like, I studied music for so many years and I found it like in ukulele, a small instrument that not everyone, like some people call it a little guitar or whatever,
Yeah.
But like now, I mean, for me, music is music. It doesn't really matter what instrument I play. After all, I just love music. That's the way it starts. And it happened to be a ukulele because of the reasons that I mentioned. And the community really keeps me there, and I love it. So
amazing. So what I wanted to ask you, because we talked a lot about like social media stuff and how you've done Instagram, you've tried YouTube and stuff. What do you think is as a teacher, the educational value of these like super short form videos, like a TikTok, or the Reels on Instagram? How much do you think you can really learn in sort of 15, 30, 60 seconds?
I think the basics, it's a good way of learning the basics. I think it's an amazing way to get inspired, first of all. I mean, the short videos, the way I look at it, it's like the first thing is just to be inspired. And it can be anything. It can be the mood of the video. It doesn't have to be like how fast or how impressive the person is playing, but like it's more, hey, he's enjoying it so much, like look at this guy, he's like into it. Isn't it a beautiful thing, like how you can connect to the thing you love so much? Like, so that's my goal, like, because I love what I do, so I want people to experience music.
And you do look like you're always enjoying it. You've always got a big smile on your face.
Most of the time. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be realistic. Sometimes it's not your day, and I need to release a thing, like I need to release a tutorial, and maybe you're just not in an amazing mood, so you got to do it. But music is my, I love it. I love it. So
it's your thing.
It's my thing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Boris. For people who are hearing about you maybe for the first time, where can they find out more about you? How can they follow you? What can they do to get more Boris?
I guess Boris Ukulele, just like if you Google that, if you come across my Instagram or my website. I guess Instagram is the place to start, if people want to know more about me, because I'm more active on Instagram these days. But little by little, I want to also navigate to other platforms. Who knows? Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Boris, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the USA.
Thank you. I really appreciate this
Cool.
interview. Thank you. And well, see you around, right?
For sure, yeah. Oh, you're going to be playing with me later, so...
Sorry?
You're going to be playing with me later on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, today, right?
Today,
Later
I think,
on.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Looking
Cool.
forward to that, man.
Okay,
It's gonna
thank
be
you so
awesome.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, John.
Cheers.
Thank you.
What a cool guy. Seriously, totally unflappable, I think is how I would describe him. And if you haven't seen his Instagram channel yet, you really need to get on that ASAP. Boris Ukulele is the name. This week, he's been posting some incredible fingerpicking covers, including an astonishing performance of Bohemian Rhapsody. And it has to be seen to be believed, so go and check that out ASAP right now. Go and have a look. He also regularly posts some very cool tips about how to spice up your playing with alternate chord ideas and new strumming patterns and techniques. Heck, I've learned so much just by watching his videos myself. Now, what I really enjoyed most about that interview was how he said that he really struggled to find an audience on YouTube, but he didn't give up. He just kept on searching and eventually found his home on Instagram. And I think that's a really great message for some of us to hear, because sometimes I know it can be very disheartening when you're pouring your heart and soul into something and it just feels like nobody's interested in what you have to say. Boris really could easily have given up, but he knew that his content was good. And it really was. It was basically exactly the same stuff as he's posting now on his Instagram. But he kept putting himself out there, and now he has, at last count, or last time I checked a few minutes ago, 102,000 Instagram followers. So there you go. But with all that being said, I also think it's really important not to judge yourself or your self-worth on how many social media followers you have. The important thing really is to just enjoy what you're doing and have fun being creative. And if it's something you believe in, then keep plugging away at it no matter what. Something I've always believed is that there's no such thing as a wasted creative endeavor. And I really, really think that's true. But that's another story for another day. The long and short of it is, no matter how many people are watching or following or subscribe to you, creativity for its own sake is what's important, because you're constantly learning new skills, improving your own talents, and developing your brain. I'll talk about this more in another episode probably, but I genuinely believe that exercising your creativity is just as important as exercising your body, and that it may even be the key to improving your mental health. Anyway, time to jump off my soapbox, I think. I just want to remind you that if you'd like to help support the podcast, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/uketeacher, because as well as early access to the show and bonus content that you won't hear in the main podcast, including extra chats with Tyler from 10 Thumbs Pro, James Hill, Christopher, Davis Shannon, and Abby Lyons, it also helps me to keep things ticking over and continue creating the show for you. But, as I say every week, if you can't afford to sign up to the Patreon, please don't sweat it. For me, the most important thing is that people get to hear these conversations that I'm having and enjoy the content. All I ask is that if you are a part of any ukulele community or have any uke-loving friends who you think might enjoy it, please share it with them. So just keep spreading the word about Ukulele Tales. It's a free podcast, and it's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else people get their podcasts from. So it's really easy to find. And not many people seem to know, but you can also watch it on YouTube too. Hello, if you're doing that right now. So if that's something you prefer doing, then it's normally up on YouTube, normally later on Wednesday or at some point on Thursday, generally about a day or so after it's come out on all the other audio streaming services. Also, something else that I brought up briefly last week, but that I am still working on, I had a chat with James Hill the other day, and we got to talking about something. This podcast is called Ukulele Tales, right? So there's no reason why I should just be talking to famous ukulele players. I mean, we probably all have a ukulele, and I'm sure some of you guys have great stories to tell as well. And what I specifically want to know about is your ukuleles. Tell me everything about them. Like I said last week, I want to know what type of ukulele you've got, how long you've had it for, who gave it to you, why did you choose that particular one, Do you know any of the history about it? Do you have an interesting story about it? Basically, I'd love to know about the history of your ukulele. I've already had a few great entries that I can't wait to read out, and I'll be putting the call out on social media for contributions soon. But in the meantime, if you're listening to this and you do have something interesting to tell me about your ukulele, just go ahead and drop me a message. I'm the Ukulele Teacher on Facebook and Uke Teacher on Twitter and Instagram. Or you could even send me an email to uketeacher@grabyouruke.com. Send me photos, send me info, send me stories. Basically, send me whatever you think me and the other tailgaters might find interesting about your ukulele. And I look forward to reading them out on the show. Seriously, I can't wait to hear from you guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. Like I always say, I love hearing from all of you. So if you ever do want to send me an email about anything, my inbox is always open, and I respond to every message I get, eventually. A big thank you once again to Carla for sponsoring the podcast, and don't forget to go to carlabrand.com/uketeacher or click on the special link in the show notes for a 10% discount on anything on their website. I've been John Atkins, and I'll be back again next Wednesday with some more great ukulele tales for you. But until next time, I love you all, and I wish you the best.